On Saunders Island, at a narrowing of the island called the Neck, we enjoyed observing several colonies of nesting penguins in their natural environment. Rockhoppers, Gentoos, Magellanics, and a small group of king penguins were all easily accessible to watch and enjoy up close and personal. It's a very windy place with constantly changing weather, but the penguins didn't seem to mind, and neither did we. Small cruise ships on their way to or from Antarctica sometimes stop here for their passengers to disembark for penguin viewing for a few hours. These flags are used to keep these passengers in designated areas. Southern rockhopper penguins are part of a genus informally called crested penguins. In the Falklands, they typically nest from October to March, laying 2 eggs in early November. They nest in colonies on rocky slopes at 36 sites around the Falklands. Southern rockhoppers are considered one of the smaller penguin species. They are particularly known for being the smallest of the crested penguins. Their smaller size, along with their distinctive yellow crest feathers, helps differentiate them from other crested penguins. Given their small size, we were amazed at how high and far their nesting colonies were from the ocean. They are determined and strong little birds, hopping all the way up and down these rocky cliffs to feed their chicks. These rockhoppers always came ashore in small groups. I'm assuming they did this as a protection against predators in the ocean, as there is safety in numbers. They pretty much ignored us, being totally focused on getting up the cliffs to their chicks. At the top of the cliff, one of my all-time best experiences was these three curious little guys who came right up to me, totally unafraid. They were so cute. At another colony we visited, they were again very curious and unafraid.
We're not messing with the chicks. I promise, we're not messing with them. I want to look at the camera.
Males often fight for nesting sites in females, leading to aggressive behavior within the colony. Rockhoppers use loud calls and body displays to communicate with each other, so usually their colonies were quite noisy. Southern rockhoppers build shallow nests lined with mud, stones, and feathers. Both parents incubate usually 2 eggs for just over a month. You can't tell them apart visually, but after the eggs hatch, the male guards the chicks for about 25 days while the female goes out to find food. If the female doesn't return with food, the male produces penguin's milk from his digestive system and regurgitates it for the chick. Such a system of extended shift duration requires lengthy fasts for both parents, but allows them to forage further afield than would be the case if they had a daily changeover. Their diet consists mostly of krill and small crustaceans like crabs, crayfish, or lobsters, and they will also eat small fish and squid. I felt very fortunate to witness this changeover of these parents. I'm assuming the female is changing places with the male in order to feed their chicks. At this colony, and ever-present skua was waiting for an opportunity to grab an unprotected chick. Listen closely to hear its gravelly call. It was fascinating to watch them porpoise in small groups through the water to quickly jump onto the rocky shore. It's amazing that they don't smash themselves upon the rocks. Yeah.
Just this one more was tied over here where the waves are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Great shot. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, these guys have been climbing up, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one down in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can really see it when they hit that light switch.
Yeah.
We were amazed that these rockhoppers were porpoising in and out at the bottom of this huge cliff and then making their way up to the top where their colony was. Sometimes it seemed like they just wanted to play. It looked like these guys were just taking a break. The Rockhoppers were off by themselves on this rocky slope, not really interacting with the other species of penguins. Here, a seemingly lost Gentoo penguin finds himself in the middle of the Rockhopper group, and they don't seem too happy about it. Notice the size difference between the small Rockhoppers and the larger Gentoo. Northern Rockhopper penguins sometimes visit the Falkland Islands, but they are rare there. However, we did manage to spot one in the colony. Another rare visitor to the Falklands is the Macaroni penguin. They will nest with southern rockhoppers and sometimes interbreed. Macaronis are larger than rockhoppers and are the least common species of penguin. Their name comes from the distinctive yellow feathered crest on their heads that apparently resemble the feathers that were featured on hats worn by men in the 18th century, referred to as macaronis, just like in the classic nursery rhyme Yankee Doodle. Stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. These are Gentoo penguins. The Falkland Islands are home to the world's largest population of Gentoo penguins who live on the islands year-round. They make a loud trumpeting sound with their heads thrown back. We observe several breeding colonies of Gentoos who start building their nests in September, laying 2 large white eggs in October. Their nests are made of stones, grasses, and mud, and the eggs are incubated for a little over 1 month. The chicks will fledge in early February. As with the other penguins, we were able to get very close to them. Notice this striated caracara, a bird of prey native to the Falklands, waiting for an opportunity to grab any unprotected eggs or chicks. Gentoos breed at 84 sites in the Falkland Islands, and they are the 3rd largest penguin following the Emperor and the King. These guys are also tough little birds, nesting quite a ways away from the ocean, and on Saunders Island, having to trek across the beach. Many Gentoo penguins mate for life, are monogamous, and return to the same partner and breeding location each season. Since both parents will work to build their nest, I don't know if this was a male or female, but I sure enjoyed watching him or her going back and forth, bringing more and more stones to the nest. Skuas are large seabirds that are known for stealing eggs and chicks from penguin colonies. Skuas are opportunistic and wait for unattended eggs or chicks. We didn't see any skuas actually get any penguin chicks, but it wasn't from a lack of trying. I estimated these chicks to be about 2 weeks old. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs and feeding the chicks. Gentoos eat krill, crustaceans, small fish, and squid. These chicks appear to be slightly older. Notice the adults' diagnostic long tails that brush the ground as they walk. These chicks were obviously slightly older and considerably larger than the others, and much easier to see. They were growing quickly on their parents' regurgitated food. Of the 17 species of penguins in the world, Gentoos are the fastest swimmers, being able to swim up to 22 miles per hour. On North Beach at Sea Lion Island, these penguins left the ocean and made a ridiculously long trek up to their nesting colony. These elephant seals were lying in their way on the road from the ocean to their nesting colony. They tried their best to avoid them. there was a constant stream of Gentoo penguins going back and forth along this quote-unquote road from the ocean to their colony. We found it amazing that they would make such a long trek from the ocean to their nesting colony to bring back food to their chicks. We never did see their nesting colony. It's somewhere up there in the tussock grass. Why they nest so far away from the ocean is beyond me. Amazing, hardy little birds. Another species we enjoyed observing was the Magellanic penguin, named after explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who encountered them in the 1500s. Magellanics are medium-sized penguins that breed in colonies along the coasts of Argentina, Chile, and the Falkland Islands. Magellanics eat fish, squid, and krill and can live up to 25 years in the wild. They are creatures of habit and return to the same nesting site from which they hatched, and they keep returning to the same partner if they can. Magellanics typically mate for life. They are known for being monogamous and caring for their young together. Walking is one way to get to the ocean, but sometimes they use another way. This is called bill dueling. It is both a form of socialization and a form of aggression. This is common on the breeding grounds when colonies can be densely crowded. Magellanic penguins are considered to be one of the more aggressive penguin species. They are especially aggressive when fighting for nests and mates. Magellanics dig burrows on grassy slopes, clay hills, or areas with small bushes. The burrows slope downwards up to about 6 feet deep, ending in a nest chamber. Males arrive at the colonies in mid-September and reclaim last year's nest. The females arrive several days later. After finding each other by vocalizing, they repair the nest and lay usually 2 eggs in mid-October. The eggs are incubated for about 40 days. For the first half of this time, the female sits on the eggs, while the male goes out to sea to forage. Then he comes back and she goes out to sea to forage, returning in time for the egg to hatch. After hatching in early December, both parents brood the chicks, taking turns feeding them at 1 to 3 day intervals. The chicks fledge in early March and are fed by their parents for about 2 weeks. Then they are on their own. Magellanic penguins call frequently to maintain social bonds, identify individual mates and chicks, establishing territory, and attracting mates. Their calls often sound like a donkey's bray, hence the name braying calls. Each penguin has a unique vocalization that allows them to identify each other within a large colony. Amazingly, chicks can distinguish between the calls of their parents and those of other adults. As part of courtship, or just to show territory ownership, Magellanic penguins often perform this ecstatic display. This display may last for more than an hour, and another penguin may take over when the first stops. This burrow was pretty much out in the open, which allowed us to see these chicks really well. They couldn't have been more than a week or two old. chicks will begin to lose their down feathers in about a month. In 2 to 4 months, they will fledge, leave the nest, and have a fully grown set of waterproof feathers. In March, after the chicks have fledged, the adults go to sea on a feeding binge for 2 to 3 weeks to gain weight in preparation for their catastrophic molt, which is where they shed their old feathers for new ones all at once. During this molt, they will stay on land and not eat because their new feathers are not yet waterproof. This process takes about 3 weeks. Their metabolism slows down and they will usually just stand still, trying not to expend any energy. They are more vulnerable to predators during this time. Their braying calls carry far and wide, even at night. I learned so much about these cute little birds and have a much better appreciation for how tough, determined, and amazing all these penguin species are. I thank God for allowing me to observe them in their natural, wild habitat for a truly unforgettable experience. Penguin feathers are waterproof because they are coated with a special oil and have a unique structure that repels water. Penguins have an oil-producing gland near the base of their tail, and they use their beaks to spread this oil over their feathers. The oil creates a waterproof barrier that insulates the feathers' barbules. Penguin feathers also have tiny pores that trap air, making the surface water repellent, and they have nano grooves that force water droplets off the feathers. These feathers are densely packed together, which helps trap air and insulate the penguin. The waterproof feathers help penguins stay dry and warm in cold, icy waters. And they also reduce air so penguins don't float while swimming or diving. I took this final video of these 2 Rockhopper penguins just so I would remember how formidable and tough these little penguins were to hop all the way up this cliff to ensure the survival of the next generation. So much effort. I was filled with admiration and awe, and I was truly blown away.